Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here with my cluster book. So you may have seen my video where we did the scrap buster cluster books, which I absolutely love, and I've made several of them now, and I really love them, and just really enjoy them. I enjoy making them, I enjoy looking through them, I enjoy hoarding them. And yeah, I'm thrilled to bits that lots of people have also joined in making some. But I had a lovely comment from somebody saying, I think it was the decorative edge strips, and said you could always use your cluster book for those. So I thought, let's come along and use a cluster book, which basically, if you did not see my original video, all I have done is taken 5 sheets from a 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. So the 5 sheets, they're sheets that maybe I have, not wanted to use, or maybe they're not sheets that I especially like, they're not obviously my favourite sheets or anything like that. And all I've done is taken them, folded them in the middle, and then stitched them on the sewing machine to form a little book. And then obviously we've made clusters on each of the pages. Now I'm just going to quickly go over this for just the benefit of anyone who didn't see the original videos. When you're doing this, you want to work on the flat page, so not this side where it's curved over. And what I mean by that is, can you see where the spine, you've got a flat side and then you've got the sort of wrong way, if that makes sense. So you don't want to really ideally use that. So for instance, this page, you would turn it over and you would use this where it's then sat much flatter. Obviously, after you come to the spine, you would then go the other way. So this becomes then the curved page and this becomes the flat page. And the only reason why I'm really specifying that is just because actually it's going to be easier to use if you're working on the flat side. It's not an essential thing. It's just a tip that I would recommend. So I've got some scraps here, which are scraps from a recent mass making. And yeah, I thought let's just come along and use some of these. So hopefully I'm going to use all of these. Oh, that was a double-sided one, which I just always hate using double-sided paper and not incorporating both sides, if you see what I mean, because it feels like such a waste. Oh, never mind. Right, so just going to tear some strips down. Now, these ones are from A4 and they are printables. Now, I know I say this all the time. I use printables because that's basically what I have most of these days. You don't have to use printables. You can use, whatever you like. I would recommend probably nothing too thick, because otherwise you might end up with quite bulky strips, by the time you've layered up a couple of bits. But of course, it's completely up to you how you do them. So I'm going to start by just tearing down a few of my pieces. So this one, as you can see, I mean, it's quite a bit bigger in terms of what's going to be length. So I'll just tear this down. Okay. I don't particularly like it when the core shows from the paper. So I try and then get rid of this by obviously tearing it from the other side. And some papers, you don't get such a core in the first place. So, you might find that you've not really got much of a core showing. Or perhaps it doesn't bother you. It doesn't really bother me, but I would just prefer not to have it in an ideal world. So just getting rid of that. And then, oops, just tearing my pieces here. Now, when I say these are going to be decorative edge strips, they're not going to be long ones, like some of the ones that we've made in the past. These are going to be more like little short stumpy ones, which we have also made, but probably not so much recently. So yeah, we're kind of making, they're cross between a cluster and an edge strip, I suppose. Cross between the two. Like a sort of long cluster. A long cluster or a dumpy edge strip, depending on which way you want to view it. So this one I'm hoping I'm going to get 2 from, but I might not, to be honest. So let's see. Just see how it goes. Oh dear. Oh my goodness, I am not doing a good job of tearing this, it's got to be said. Oh, rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. Okay. Okie dokie. And this one. Okay, right, so that's those. Now I have got a couple more, but for the time being I'm just going to go with these ones, otherwise, you know, it's probably pretty boring just watching me tear out paper. So obviously I've got a variety of different backgrounds, so I can then, you know, flick through the book and put them on a variety of different pages. Now I'm just going to take them and glue them like this. Okie dokie. Now I am going to just use my glue spreader just so they're sort of smoother. Got just a bit of seepage of glue there, like that. Okay. So, and perhaps I'll do a couple of different ones so that I just get some different looks. So, okay. Don't know why I've started at the bottom of the page. No idea why that would be, but it just seemed like the logical place to start for some reason. Now this is from some of that lovely craft paper from a pad that I'd had for a really long time. I love using the craft paper. So yeah, going to pop this one on there. Okay. Now, as you can see, I opted to use the plain side. This is a glittered paper, if you can see that. I didn't really want to use the glittered paper. I mean, not because I don't like it, but just because, you know, I can't picture it perhaps looking great in some of my vintage journals. You know, because it's got these images of fruit and vegetables and things. So, yeah, I think I would just perhaps get more mileage from it using it on the plain side, but you know, again, you can use these things however you fancy. So yep, let's just pop this one down. Okie dokie. Right, pop that there like that. Oh, should we use this one here? Oh look, it's a little bit too long. I'm just going to have to tear that down slightly because I do quite like this one on that craft paper. It's quite nice, isn't it? So I mean, I've got a mixture of lengths. I've definitely not stuck with the same length or anything like that, but you know, I think that's quite nice to have the variety there. So okay, and then let's go back through. Let's try this on the pink spotty. It's quite nice, isn't it? I'm just going to tear this down and make it slightly narrower. Okay, like that. Actually, I'm not sure I want that on there. I might have it on... Yeah, I thought there was a... Did I use that on the red sheet already? No. No, I didn't think I did. So, yeah, perhaps I put the brown on the red. Because I think that would be quite nice. This is just from my lace collection papers. And then this one here, this is just from my green buildings papers. Oh, my goodness, how lovely does that look on that lime green? And then the peachy colour one, this is actually from the Melrose Place papers. So, but this one I think is going to be nice on that pink polka dot. Oh my goodness, how lovely is that? Okay. Okie dokie. Right, so I'm going to just continue in the same vein and fill up the whole book, and then we'll just come back and we'll just do a couple of, you know, yeah, finishing them off basically to kind of show how they look. But I don't want to just bore you to tears filling up the whole book with my decorative papers. So I will be back once I've filled it. So hang on. Okay, so I'm back. Now I haven't filled the whole book, but I've filled quite a bit of it. So, and I have, I think, filled this whole side. So it's just one or two on this side. Oops, I've got a hair stuck under there. So yeah, we've just got one or two spaces there. So I'll just work at this, you know, on this side for the, you know, the purposes of the video. So I've brought along obviously some lace and things like that, and I've also got these which are part of my topper collections. Now I've printed these onto, you know, when you buy the card making packs, so it's onto those. As you can probably see, it's slightly dull in terms of the print quality. That's just how this card is. I think it's got a sort of bit of a powdery coating, so it's not come out as vibrant as it often does. And unfortunately, I can't now see, you know, an actual copy of this anywhere that I could pull in and show you. But yeah, it's basically down to the quality of the card, why it's not as vibrant as it would normally be. But I thought, well, might as well use some of these with our little side strip, you know, decorative strips really. So what I'm going to do is just start layering them up. Now I've brought along some scraps of lace and things like that. I've also got some of this, it's like a washi tape, but it's actually a, oh, what do you call this? Like a sellotape, basically. So yeah, I just thought we would use some of these bits and pieces to decorate these. So just take that one down. Okay. So just scraps of lace, as you can see. So I'm just going to take this one down here. And then all I'm going to do is obviously glue this down onto this one. And I'm really going to try not to overthink these. That's always a problem for me because, you know, generally we like things to be coordinated and matching. But yeah, once you start kind of overthinking it, it's very hard then to stop. So I'm going to try my very best not to. Now, I'm just going to peel this off. Now, although this is a, you know, sticky tape of sorts, I really just don't have much faith in it staying stuck down. So I do, oops, always like to glue it down as well. So I'm just going to apply the glue direct to this fabric, except for these corners where I have dovetailed it, which I will just apply the glue into the corners, which will hopefully then really, you know, secure it nicely. So, oh my goodness, doesn't that look gorgeous? I mean, I love that without even having anything else on there. It looks so pretty, doesn't it? Absolutely love it. So let's just do a couple of those on this page, and then, you know, we can get putting a little topper item on there as well. So just take this one. And like I say, I mean, these are just little scraps of lace and things that were laying around on the desk. Now, I've also got some book page and I've also got some sheet music. So might take the sheet music. I love sheet music always. So yeah, let's just take a little section of that. Okay, and then just probably narrower like that. So one strip. I don't really know terms for sheet music, I'm afraid. So yeah, one strip like that, and then just put the lace like over the top of there. So let's just pop this one down there like that. Okay, and then just going to, yep, and then just here pop this one on just to the side. Okay, that looks quite pretty, doesn't it? So, you know, these are all just things that I've grabbed in that were just laying around on the desk. I didn't want to be, you know, going off finding things. So I've just been pulling things in that are just laying around. So like that. Now, when I make things like this, I've got to be honest, I do generally stitch them on the sewing machine. Oh, that's not going to go great. Do normally stitch them on the sewing machine. So obviously what I will do, because these are in the book, I will leave them, but when I come to use them and I tear them out of the book, I may then stitch them at that point. Again, it's not essential, you know, just because I do normally stitch these, it doesn't mean they have to be stitched, of course. So yeah, going to leave them unstitched at the moment, but then when I come to use them, if I fancy stitching them at that point, then I can always do that. So there we go, like that. Oh, that lace barely shows there at all, does it? And I have got this tiny little bit, which, and then we've got a couple of different bits of lace. Does it matter? Well, no, let's just put that down. Just gets it off of my desk. Okay, right. this one here. So again, might just take in another bit of sheet music. Okay. Oops. Like that. Okie dokie. Like that. Or maybe I prefer this side. It's funny, isn't it? But sometimes I just prefer one side to the other on sheet music. You know, sometimes they're very, very dark. You know, they've got loads of notes. And sometimes that looks really lovely. Other times it can look perhaps a bit ugly. This particular one I think looks lovely. Other times they can be very plain. I mean, I don't know what that denotes in terms of music. Whether that means go slow or fast or, you know, perhaps a pause in the music. I've no clue. You know, if you can read music, let me know below. What does that mean? You know, when there's a page with not much going on, is that when the music is playing very slow, or maybe quiet? Maybe it denotes quiet. I don't know. Let me know. If you know what that means, let me know. I just see if I can find a page to... No, this is all pretty full on. Yeah, I don't know. Or, yeah, it maybe means go slow or go fast. I don't know. Right, now. So these ones are in frames. So I'm just going to take these like this. Now, these are from my toppers pieces, like I said. And these are, you get like some bonus background pages. So these are the bonus background pages, but they have been shrunk down to fit onto this, you know, card making kind of pack. Now, when I say shrunk down, obviously I misjudged it. And yeah, they should have really been this size, but I'd shrunk them down way too small. So they were sort of pretty useless, really. And like I say, they're actually not particularly vibrant. You know, this card is not great. So I thought, well, this is a good chance to use these, to be honest, which otherwise they maybe would just sit there not really being used particularly. So just going to then ink around this, disguise my shoddy cutting. Okay. Oh my goodness, I mean, that looks gorgeous on there, doesn't it? Love that. Yeah. So, you know, it's just a sort of good way to use up. We've used up obviously some of the scrapbook paper when we made the cluster book, which is now being used as this, I don't know, stumpy clusters, or what did we decide to call them? Stumpy clusters, did we? Or I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so we've used up the 12 by 12 papers. We have used up some scraps of paper, obviously, with the, you know, the strips. Used up some scraps of lace that were laying around on the desk. And of course, now we're using up these, not really misprints, but, you know, prints that otherwise perhaps we couldn't then use. So, and all making some absolutely gorgeous ephemera for our junk journals. And all contained, obviously, in this lovely book. So it's a worthy project, I think. You know, something that actually not much effort, and we've used up a lot of stuff and produced some really nice, useful things, you know, going forward. Sorry, I've got hot glue stuck onto the blendy tool there. Right, let's just take that down. I mean, to be honest, to make these stand out more, you could glossy accent this or something like that. That would also be quite nice. I'm not going to do that for this video, but yeah, definitely you could do that. So just going to glue this down. Now, I probably would be better off hot gluing this. The reason I'm not is because, like I say, when I come to use these, I would probably tear these out and then stitch straight down. And if it's hot glue, sometimes the sewing machine can struggle with the hot glue, you know, because it's quite lumpy bumpy. So yeah, that's why I'm not really doing that for these. Right, let's have a look here. So, oh gosh, come on, stay stuck. That's the only problem, is trying to actually get them to stay stuck on here. So here, for instance, I've got this little bird here. Now, he is obviously, or yeah, he's too big to obviously use on one of these. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut him out. Now I'm going to try and hang on to those frames because I maybe will be able to use the frames for something else. So we shall see. And he might look rubbish being just in a rectangle. So again, we shall see what he looks like. I mean, he's not looking great so far, is he? Let's cut him down significantly because he's very tall. Very tall, like that. Okay. Yeah, maybe something like that. I mean, not loving how that looks, but what we could do is maybe edge him with maybe some gold or something like that to make it stand out a bit more. So just going to cut him down a bit. Yeah, make him a bit smaller. And then I think we'll rough him up on the edges. Like that. Okie dokie. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to ink him up a bit. Like that. And then, now he's going to go on there. So I'm thinking, well, originally I thought gold, but now I'm thinking actually maybe some patina. Oh, or the copper patina. That might look quite good, mightn't it? So, yeah, I don't know whether this is copper actually or whether this is the bronze. Copper, yeah. Oh, gosh. These get really blocked up, and that's been my experience of these all the time. I still haven't managed to get any of the copper and the antique bronze twin set that this one came in. Oops. It seems to be out of stock everywhere in the UK, which is really annoying. Really annoying. And I do look from time to time just in case kind of, you know, places have got it back in, but yeah, so far I've had no luck. Oh, come on. Oh gosh, it's now not wanting to come out. Come on, come on. It's nearly run out, to be honest. That's why this is struggling so much. Let's just dip that in, go around the edge with a bit of the copper. Oh, come on, I need a bit more than this. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, this is really annoying. Am I going to have enough to even finish this off? Come on. Oh, no. I wonder if I cut the lid off, whether I can just scrape it from the bottle. I mean, there are little drips still coming out, so. Oh, dear. Right, there we go. So it just gives it a little bit more kind of definition, because otherwise it was looking a little bit, you know, yeah, just a little bit plain. So we could have that there. Now, what I'm thinking is, you know, because I've cut him out of a frame, and I really love having things framed, really. So I'm thinking to just add a little bit more interest is maybe put something like that flower on there. And that way, although he's still very plain, we've, you know, brightened him up by, first of all, obviously adding the patina, and now by just bringing in, I mean, this I would actually call red, and this flower obviously is pink, but to be honest, it goes really well. So yeah, I think we can get away with it. Now I'm going to use the hot glue for the flower, because when I stitch this on the sewing machine, sorry, just checking which way this flower needs to go up. When I stitch this on the sewing machine, I'll probably stitch it straight down here, not over this flower anyway. So I think, you know, I can get away with that like that. And I was just thinking, I mean, it's a shame I don't have any more of that patina, because otherwise what I could have done was actually added some little splatters onto that whole decorative strip. And I think that would have looked really, really cool. And then when I obviously tear that out, stitch it on the sewing machine, it would have the splatters and things as well, which I think would, you know, just add and look really, really nice, wouldn't it? So yeah, really love that. Okay, right, we've got this last one. So, oh, let's just see. Well, that's the same as that one, isn't it? Or we could have that one. Let me just see, because I've got one or two others. Okay. Oh, I don't know now. Unless we do go for that brown one. or this one? Oh, this is a tough decision, it's got to be said. Right, again, just going to try and leave that gold frame intact, just in case I want to use it some other time. So, go like that. Okie dokie. Oh my goodness, it's so warm in my room. And I know I say this all the time, but yes, I film ahead. So if you're in the UK and it's absolutely horrible weather, I'm filming this in the summer. And I know I say this all the time, but, you know, I don't know my upload schedule. So, you know, it might be that this video wouldn't go up for months yet, in which case it could be, you know, the depths of winter before this goes up, in which case you'll be all thinking, what's she talking about? It's freezing. So, yeah, I just like to always put it out there that I'm filming ahead. And just because I say it's boiling, it may not necessarily be boiling by the time the video goes up. Right, so we've got that one. Now, again, going to just rough this up on the edges. I love to do that because I just think it makes it stand out, you know, and gives it a bit of 3D sort of texture. So go around there, and I'm just going to ink that up here. Okay. Now, again, going to edge this with something. Now, what colour shall I edge this with? I've got some green patina, I think, but I'm not sure it's going to be the right colour green. So, therefore, it might look really awful. Let me just have a look in my drawer of my patina colours. Oh, I'm not sure now. What do we think? What do we think? I mean, the pink, yeah, I've dragged the pink out thinking, oh, possibly. But yeah, I think probably not. Right, oh, that's not great, is it? Let me give this a shake because, you know, it sort of changes colour once you've shaken it. Okay. Well, a bit better, perhaps. I don't know. Oh, well, let's just go for it, shall we? So, yeah, let's just pop that on. Oh, gosh, it's not really the right colour, is it? Not really. Oh, well. I won't kind of go too mad with it, just sort of touches every now and then. Yeah, so, you know, hopefully it just makes it stand out slightly, but not too crazy, because I'm not sure it's, you know, too much of a good match, but it looks okay, doesn't it? So, yeah, let's put these away. I love those patinas. I know I talk about them all the time, but yeah, they're really, really nice. Now, I'm just wondering if we could have a little flower or something with this as well. So, hold on. Oh, I don't know. I feel like really it needs something orangey. You know, to tie these orangey flowers from the background, really. Oh, I have got this green flower. Oh, no, not orange at all, but I don't think that's bad, actually. Yeah, I quite like that. So, yeah, perhaps we'll go with that. Now, that patina, luckily, is very fast drying, so I'm sure it will be dry in no time. Now, I'm going to stick it over here because we had that join off the laces. So, just like that. Okay, I'm just going to move the camera slightly. Okay, right, now, a bit of a problem with it, obviously, sticking down. Right. Now, do I want the flower this side or this side? Maybe that side, yeah. So, again, just going to hot glue it because, you know, I'll watch where I stitch so that it doesn't really go over there. So, yeah, I mean, that just makes all the difference, doesn't it? It looks lovely now. Really pretty. Okay, so let's do a couple of finishing touches on these ones. Just quickly mop up that. Okay, now, what did I do with that pink flower just now? Oh, here we go. So we could have a little pink flower on here. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? That is very pretty. Or there. Let's have it there. And again, you know, I'm just going to watch when I stitch through this. So, you know, I'm not stitching through the hot glue. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't always hook up, you know, or get stuck over the hot glue, but just sometimes it does. So it's just something to be a little bit aware of, really. Okay. This one, I just love it with those blue flowers, because obviously the birds, I think they're like blue tits or something. And so they've got, of course, the blue on them. And how gorgeous does that look? It's just picking up the blues really nicely, isn't it, with those birds? So, yeah. Oops. Oh, gosh. Which way up does that go? I think like that. So, again, just pop this. Oh, my goodness. Oh, gosh. I can't see which way up is the right way. I think it's this way. Oh, my eyesight is just terrible. Just terrible. Right. There we go. Oh, my goodness. How gorgeous is that? So I'm going to leave these in the book, as I say, because what I will do is literally leave them in the book, and then when I tear them out to use them, I will tear them out and then stitch them as I come to use them. But brilliant way to obviously keep all your little, I mean, they're not really decorative edge strips, like I say, they're either what I would call dumpy or stumpy decorative edge strips, or chunky elongated clusters. But yeah, brilliant way to actually keep them all in the, you know, in the book and all neat and tidy. So just exactly as we do our clusters. So you can fill up the whole book just by making a few of those little edge strips. And I mean, obviously the clusters, we tended to have 4 to a page, the 8 to a page. These ones we've got 4 to a page, but it still means you've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So you've still got 40 in this whole book, which is pretty good, isn't it? Once you've done them all, you'd have 40 little edge strips, which, I mean, that's pretty cool, isn't it? So, yeah, I hope you like them, and I hope you feel inspired. Another use for your little cluster book. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, Anne. Bye.